Welcome back all to our journey of the women who brought us to today. Today we'll be talking about a woman who was so dedicated to her work, it's theorized that it was in fact her work that killed her. That's dedication. The woman was a proud citizen of Poland, so much so that she actually named the first chemical element she discovered, polonium, after her beloved Poland. This woman developed mobile radiography during World War I to provide x-rays to field hospitals. I'm talking about Madame Marie Curie. A Polish-French physicist and chemist, Marie Curie pioneered research in radioactivity. But before all that, she was just a student leaving Poland to further her education in Paris. France, you're going to have to forgive me, I'll probably say this wrong, but I'm going to try. This is where she received a license from Sorbonne to practice in the ways of physics and mathematical sciences, and later her Doctor of Science degree. This is where she met her husband, Professor Pierre Curie, in 1894 and married him just a year later. Both physicists worked hard and had many teaching jobs just to get by in life. The research the two of them conducted was often performed under difficult conditions, but the Curies persevered. They were inspired by the discovery of radiation by Henri Becquerel in 1896, and their research and analysis led them to discover polonium and radium, though many did not believe that what she found was true. You see, how Madame Curie found this was by studying something called pitchblende. Pitchblende is a radioactive uranium-rich mineral and ore. She believed that there was another substance other than uranium in the pitchblende, and whatever it was far more radioactive. Because no one had found this before, she believed that it must be in very tiny quantities. And she was right. Though this venture could have been extremely expensive due to the fact that the uranium in the pitchblende was highly valued and expensive, Curie found a supplier that would give her the leftover pitchblende after extracting the uranium for a reduced price. Both Pierre and Marie studied this unknown element by grinding up samples of the pitchblende, dissolving it in acid, and then they started the tedious work of separating the elements from each other. Eventually, they extracted a black powder 330 times more radioactive than uranium. This is the element Marie Curie named after her homeland, polonium. Not only was the polonium powder radioactive, so was the liquid left behind, radium. Madame Curie developed methods to separate the radium from radioactive residues to allow for its study. It was through this work that she was awarded the Nobel Prize for Physics. It was only 3 years later when tragedy struck her in the form of the death of her husband, leaving Marie alone with 2 young daughters. Though life had never looked the same for her, Marie went on to succeed her late husband as a professor at the Sorbonne. Marie continued her work, and in doing so she received a second Nobel Prize in 1911 for chemistry this time. In this case, she created a way to measure radioactivity. Don't ask me how this works, I have no idea, but what I do know is that the measurement scale for radon is in microcuries, named after the woman who created it. In fact, we still use this today, especially our environmental health specialists. Because of her notoriety, the Sorbonne built the first radium institute with 2 labs. One for the study of radioactivity that was under the direction of one Marie Curie herself, and the other lab for the study of cancer treatments. Remember that. As if this woman wasn't impressive enough, she created Petites Curies, that mobile x-raying machine we had talked about earlier, remember? The technology she created to help soldiers on the front lines was in and of itself worthy of praise, but what was really commendable is the fact that in order to help those soldiers, she and her 17-year-old daughter went out onto the front lines themselves to help the wounded. And even this wasn't the end of Marie Curie's accomplishments. At the end of the war, she went back to her research, gained even more notoriety, won several awards, and to top it all off, she continued to teach the next generation. Not only that, but she continued her research for cancer treatments. Do you remember Susan LaFlèche Picotti from a couple of weeks back? Well, as it turns out, Susan's family reached out to Marie Curie when she was sick on the Omaha reservation. Curie responded. Curie sent the LaFlèche family a package that had a pellet of radium in it, like the one Marie wore around her neck every day. In a cruel twist of fate, the substance that Marie Curie thought would relieve pain and potentially cure cancer was in fact what caused her to die in 1934. Nothing in life is to be feared. It is only to be understood. Madame Curie. Until next time.